What's up, you guys? Here chilling with my girl Glow. She is one of the bullies off my last litter. She is one of the biggest as well. Her and her sister Mills. Her sister Mills is a tricolored bully. This one is not for sale. Her sister Mills is for sale, but not on sale. We're asking now 650 for her because I've had to do additional shots, which all cost money and took some time and more feeding, stuff like that. Not not no crazy raise on the price, but still within the worth, still within the value, of the dog. Um, this girl here, like I said, is not for sale. We did rehome one of the black males, out the litter. In fact, the one we called Black Boy, which was probably one of the best looking black males in my opinion. Um, kind of hook someone up with that dog. However, that person didn't want to be on social media, didn't want a name out there, didn't even want to take a picture. So yeah, sometimes no good deed goes without being unpunished. You know what I mean? You would expect somebody to be more supportive to your channel. After you didn't hook them up with the puppy, because trust me, when I say she didn't pay much for it at all. Uh, but it's all good. It's good to do nice things and all that, but just know if you get a dog from us, ain't no goddamn hand outs around here. We work hard for this. Uh, anybody that has gotten discounts or something like that in the past, it's probably because they're a repeat customer, or because if they didn't just straight up pay the money in full, they probably allotted our camp with something we could have used. They could have been a breeder and, exchanged the dog, which in fact has happened in the past. What I'm getting at is just know that this dog breeding thing is very expensive, and, the prices we set are legit. The prices we set are reasonable. Therefore, if you can, whatever you can, support us because we're out looking for you guys' best interest as well. I bred this particular litter of bullies because I want to put some bullies out there that are bulls but still healthy, not overly high strung, uh, have good structure, but that's not all they're working with. Me, sometimes I like to be active. Sometimes, um, well, put it this way, I don't want to get a nice, what you consider a nice looking bully, and it got 101 health problems. I've gotten bullies before. They look good at puppies, and should get at a certain age. They got easty westy, or they got really bad skin conditions, or what have you. In fact, this girl here I named Glow because I had a similar bully, which was my first female bully, and she was like a micro pocket. Didn't really know what type of bully I want when I first started, but well, I could kind of say some people we kind of got accustomed, kind of became somewhat friends with. They bred bullies, and I got them off her. I had paid like $1,000 for her. However, I bred this particular girl myself, and she reminds me of Glow, except she got, if I must say, better features. Uh, Scissor bite, no east and westy. She's going to be within a little bit taller than Pocket, closer to standard, but not really much taller at all. The structure is going to be very muscular. Um, both a little robust and cut up. Cut up meaning you can see all the striations and the muscles. Bulky meaning like broader, neck and stuff. Can't really show her right here because she's kind of chilling with me. But yeah, this is Glow. We do have other bullies available. The tricolored one is the only one we're asking 650 for. If I can't get that, I'll keep her. Trust me, it's worth it. I can use that female. And like I said, both Glow and her sister are the biggest out the litter. Um, good temperaments. Now, both males and Glow can sometimes be, bully the other puppies when it comes to eating and stuff. And I feel like she looks bigger than what she is on camera. I got the camera too close, so as you see, she's still, puppy. Um, she is, one of the biggest I have her, but she's not a. These dogs aren't bred to be big like XL bullies or anything like that. They sit within pocket or standard size. Uh, right now, for sale, we have two females left for sale. One black and white. Uh, I call her Stripe because her markings kind of resemble that gremlin. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the '80s movies, Gremlins, but it was one little badass gremlin up there. They called Stripe, and he had like a little white mohawk and white hair, and that's the same like markings Maxie has. So sometimes I just call her my little gremlin. And then I already told you about Mills. She's the big tricolored one, kind of like a lilac-ish coat, and then she got gray or blue, as we call it in the dog world, in her coat as well, and white. So she's a very pretty dog and very tough dog too. Yeah, she's built like a male of a male you expect the male to be, but she's a female. Yeah, like I said, that she's going males is going 650. The rest are just 500. As far as males go, we have a smaller gray male, a cold spook. He's really pretty. He's all blue or gray, like his dad Chapo. We also have another black male, similar to Black Boy, but his name is Bud. He's a good dog, well behaved, very similar to Black Boy. Um, I feel like Black Boy had a little bit more girth to him, but that things all change as they get older and their pups they still grow. Um, so he's primarily black with a little white stripe on his chest, and is that it? Oh, and one other black and white puppy called Tommy. He's more so white around the around his face, and then he has some black on him as well. And his name is Tommy. So he's available too, just 500 for him. I will showcase those dogs again later. However, I've showcased them before in the past. And that's another thing, guys. Just sometimes go back and look at past videos. You know, sometimes all that, hey, can you send me some picture stuff? I'm gonna be real with you, shit gets aggravating. Cause I've been there and goddamn took my time out today to show pictures, and people are late getting back to me. Oh, I gotta talk to my wife. I gotta talk to this person. You know what? Do that shit before you even, you know what I'm saying? Talk to your wife. Know what the hell, you either gonna buy the damn puppy or you're not. Like, don't waste our time. And it's not just me. I've been watching, I took a break from social media, posting myself, but I tend to watch, other breeders and, I'm a dog man, so that's interest to me. So I watch other things sometimes. Um, and they have the same issues with people just standing them up. Oh, can I get back to you around Christmas time? I ain't got time for that, man. Like, I'm feeding damn dog. Like, what are we doing here? Are you buying a dog? Are you wasting my time? I'm not gonna send you a bunch of damn pictures when I done made X amount of videos to where all you got to do is look at the damn video. If you want a picture of that video, screenshot the video. Typically, I don't mind, but it's just getting to a point where people are taking advantage of me. You know what I mean? And it's like I said, it's not me; it's other breeders as well. And we get tired of that shit because you don't understand that we are knowledgeable people of what the fuck we do, and it's very time consuming and expensive being a breeder. So give us a courtesy of being respectful, not just putting us on a back burner when you are trying to buy our merchandise. Don't just fuck over. Oh, I'll just call a breeder whenever I feel like paying for a dog. Maybe he still got him and he'll drop the price. You know what? Eat a dick, because my dogs hold value. Other breeders' dogs hold value. We don't have to sell you guys. You guys can go get some bullshit from the pound or off goddamn Craigslist where all them damn dogs got problems. You know, the damn near neutered and they're fucking probably done been on some households already and they're just not, you don't even know what you're getting. Now, not all my dogs have papers because you can't goddamn get papers on a designer breed, meaning, or a hybrid, meaning like, for instance, when I bred my Ruddy Corsos, both the mother and the father had papers. The Rottweiler I had, she had papers. The Corso had papers. The Rottweiler's AKC, the Corso's ICC. So when I put those two together, both of them had different papers from two different things. Therefore, I could not get papers on those dogs. However, papers alone don't make the fucking damn dog. No goddamn way. Like some of you guys are not knowledgeable about shit. You know, I've had people before saying, yeah, you know, this is the bully I had. And it's not even a fucking bully. It's like a English bulldog. I was like, bro, that's not a bully. That's an English bulldog. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, English bulldog. You know, ain't no A-OK. What the fuck are you looking for? You know, what are you looking for? You know, but anyway, on a good note, I'm actually building something out back to where, you know, if I got to hold certain puppies or whatever, cool, shit, you know, because sometimes people don't see or notice what you're producing until they get a little older, you know what I mean? Sometimes all bullies look alike when they're, you know, young, or they may look a little different. Mine, I could say, look a little bit different, you know, because they have pit bull in them. You can see the pit bull in them. However, they have pit bull, have American bully. I bred them that way on purpose. I bred dogs before that was just strictly American bully. I bred this litter this way because I wanted. I'm a breeder, and this is what I don't want, because this is, you know, what I was going for. And like I said, this girl here is my keeper. I enjoy her. She is awesome. It's a little cold outside. That's why I'm not outside with her at the moment. It's early in the day. I'm just not too long ago brushing my teeth, getting myself together, and checking on my puppies, whatever. And I decided to just pick her up for this particular video. But you guys, if you have any questions, I am going to work on a website on top of the social media thing. I feel like sometimes my views and things like that kind of get not so much carried away, but, you know, I just want to have it strictly about dogs. You know, I do put other content sometimes on my channel just to keep you guys entertained, but we are dog breeders. That is what we do. And by we, I mean me and my partner, my girlfriend, Lenora. This is what we do. We breed dogs. We're animal people. You know, been doing this for years now. Then bred all types of litters. You know, I like to say we make big money off breeding dogs and things like that, but truthfully, that would be a lie. You know, and some of these breeders that charge X amount, you know, crazy amounts for a fucking exotic or hell, even a good Rottweiler are just ridiculous because they're breaking the bank in, you know, of you guys' head, and you're only getting so good of a puppy, you know, something you could have probably got for less. However, we try to be reasonable, but when people bullshit us or whatever, then it's like, you know, why not just be assholes like the other breeders? And I'm not looking to be no asshole, but at the same time, I'm a realist, and really, I ain't looking to do no handouts and no shit like that. You know, you get what you work with, what you put in for. You know what I mean? And I put in a lot as far as the breeding goes. You know, I'm gonna breed a good quality dog if that's what you're looking for. All you got to do is not waste my time and prepare the funds so that I can give you that quality dog. Anyway, with that said, you know, I hope you guys are having a good day, week, whatever. I'll make some more videos and keep you guys up to date, not only on this litter, on future breedings, Most of my breeders are gonna be in house. I'm not looking to do no business with no other breeders or no crap like that. Everything I get is coming off my yard, off my kennels. Now, by this time next year, I am looking to get a maybe not next year, but very soon, maybe at the end of next year, a female Rottweiler, because I want a certain look of German that I'm going for. I want a bigger, broader forehead and a shorter muzzle. My Rottweilers tend to have more of a muzzle, which is good if I'm using them for biting or something of that nature. However, um, I don't want to go strictly aesthetic, but it is what I prefer: a broader forehead, crown, uh, not completely mushed in muzzle, but a shorter muzzle, um, more girth. My Corso's got great girth. I see some Corsos that are a little bit more slimmer. I want my Rottweilers to be more girthy like that because they're Salone, one of my males, he's coming along. Jason, which is his son, I bred Jason off Salone and Roxy. His son's coming along. However, some of the other litters are looking more, Rottweilers and stuff, looking more American style, lighter, coat colors, just different features. So, with that said, I am looking to get a Rottweiler female to add to the camp. But other than that, it's not about buying, it's about producing. So there are going to be more litters, but they're going to be at a slower pace because, you know, with the economy and just people just bullshitting around the area, it's not smart to, overly produce. So kind of taking our time, doing it that way. However, if you guys are interested in the bullies I have, feel free to call me at 980-892-3862, as well as you guys can DM me by any of the platforms that you may be on via YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Until next time, baby LG Big Dogs, we is out.